Hi, this is Reverend Ken. Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to like and share our video and comment on the video. It will mean a great deal to us. It will help spread our message out to a wider audience. So again, be sure to like us, to make a comment about us, or to share it with all your friends. It will do a great deal of good. Thank you so much. Hello, this is Reverend Ken Wilcox, and thanks for joining us today. My talk title is Your Divine Ideas. Be sure to like our video, to comment on it, and to share it. And a comment can be just as easy as a prayer request. Just leave us a note of what you would like to have more of or less of in your life, and we'll have practitioners who are trained in the art of prayer do prayers for you. If you have a question, or if there's something that you would like to see more of in the world, leave that in the comment section. Jesus said, where two or more are gathered, there's great power. And certainly there's more than two of us. So let us use our power through this new technology to unleash the miracles and blessings that God has to offer us. So to get our talk going today, let's do a reading and opening treatment. I'm going to do a reading from my book, Whispers of Heaven. It's available on Amazon if you would like. The link to purchase it is listed below our video. And today I'm reading from Affirmative Prayer. And I made the suggestion for this affirmative prayer to read this and to go watch the sunrise. And I wrote, good harmonizes my mind so that love sings in my heart. I am completely conscious of the all good in me. I am in complete unity with it. I release any idea of lack or limitation. Those ideas are the shadows of the truth, and they disappear before this right knowing, like the shadows fled the morning sun. So let's put these words of wisdom to work in our lives through affirmative prayer. I'm going to do this prayer in the first person, and take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me today. I know there is only one God, one mind, and one power. And that power is perfect love. It's perfect intelligence. And it is showing up in my life through divine ideas. So here now, I release and let go of every idea that's ever held me back. Every idea of woundedness, victimhood, lack, and limitation. I put those ideas away, and today I lift my eyes up to a better knowing for myself. A knowing that the goodness and greatness of God is flowing through me, bringing to me every possibility of health, love, joy, and happiness. This is my truth. I celebrate this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. My talk title is Your Divine Ideas. You know, our ideas are gifted to us by that from the Most High. That which created the rings of Saturn, which designed Orchid, and even designed the rear end of a gnat, is gifting us divine ideas all the time. It's up to us to decide how we're going to put these ideas to work in our lives, because we're the one that make that choice. We are pre-approved by God. God has never been disappointed in us. It has never given up on us. It is seeking to help us with these inspired ideas to have more love, more joy, and more happiness. Because in doing that, it is making the world a better place by means of me and by means of you. Now, angry and resentful and fearful people aren't helping anything at all. If you can avoid them, it's most certainly best to. And unfortunately, too many of us are allowing them to flow into our lives by means of the computer and television. The goodness of God flows into our lives like a stream flows down the mountainside. We get to decide if we are going to let our lives be an inlet of that goodness And if we don't create an inlet in our thinking, that energy just simply flows on to a consciousness that will. You plus God are an answer to every problem you've ever had. And there's no argument. Just as the shadows don't argue with the morning sun, they go back into the nothingness from which they came. So will your problems when you link yourself in faith with that which set the universe into motion. So why are we so fearful and timid and afraid? You know, it's the most repeated admonition in the Bible. Fear not. You were the best idea God had for your life at the moment of your creation. You were created so that God could experience life by means of you. And that's what we're doing here. We're not here to be tested. We're not here to be judged. We're pre-approved, approved for all the love and joy and happiness that life has to offer, because there's a lot of it. Now, there's also a lot of turmoil and confusion, and we can experience that if we choose to. We're the ones who get to make the decision. Dr. Holmes, our founder, he said we're to believe that we have a divine partner and that that energy goes before us. It prepares a way for us. We're not in this alone. And we should permit ourselves to be guided by something at the center of us, something that not only knows what we need to do, but also knows how we should do it. They say Einstein, if he ever got a problem he couldn't solve, he would go take a nap. And oftentimes, he would wake up with the solution. We have the wisdom of the universe flowing through us, and we get to put it to work. I may not know what to do, but something within me does. We're not given some intelligence, we're given all intelligence. And our job is to get it working on a divine idea. We can't wait on a miracle from God. We have to become the miracle from God. And we easily discount how that can happen. A simple smile can turn around and change a life. When I was a younger man, I worked in D.C., and I was the head of a public relations firm there. I was doing quite well. I was making money. I was in an influential position. But my life was really not so good. The owner of the company was not a nice person at all. One time he fired his own daughter and didn't hire her back. And so I was living under a lot of stress. And also, that was at the time where AIDS was really taking hold. And many of my friends were sick or dying. It was one lunchtime actually, right after Christmas in January when they had taken all the Christmas decorations down. It was a bitter cold day. I was walking down Wisconsin Avenue. It's a main thoroughfare there in D.C. The sidewalks were full of people walking in both directions. And the street itself was full of these buses traveling very fast. I was wearing this really expensive coat I had gotten for Christmas, a Yves Saint Laurent. So I was looking good, but I was feeling miserable. I was so unhappy and desperate that as I was walking at the edge of the sidewalk, I felt a bus come by very quickly, and I could feel the wind go by me. And I had a thought to myself, you know, I'm so unhappy here. All I would need to do is just lean a little further out in the street, and the next bus coming along could take me out of this, and no one would be the wiser for it. Just at that moment, I looked up into the crowd of people coming forward, and a woman in the midst of this large stream of people, she quite deliberately looked out and she caught my eyes. And when she did, she smiled. Now, we didn't meet, we didn't talk. She was gone from my life within just a few seconds. But that one smile gave me the inspiration that there was goodness in life and that I should carry on. So doing good in our lives is easier than we sometimes make it. Just know you're working with the power and goodness of God. and put it into your consciousness that there is good that you can do. This past week, I had a project that I had been working on. We have a young teenager in our community, and he's suffered quite a tragedy this summer. And I wanted to do something nice for him. It required me coordinating with several different people. One of the people that I had to organize was a public relations person in the Jaguars football team in Jacksonville. And he really turned out to be a very helpful guy. So we got everything organized. The only thing that was missing was the teenager. And when we reached back out to him, guess what? He had changed his mind. Well, that's what teenagers do. So I was sitting there with this project not being complete and really not knowing what to do with it. And I thought to myself, well, what's the good that I can do at this point? And so I had the idea that I not only should write a thank you note to the public relations agent in Jacksonville for the Jaguars, but I was also going to send a note to his boss, letting him know how grateful I am that this guy stepped out and was willing to help a young man in St. Augustine who's in really not a good place. And while I was writing that note, I made the decision to send some healing energies to my old boss way back in D.C. Because, you know, after all, to be so angry that you fire your own daughter from your company, that has to mean that something really horrible happened to him in his life as well. And so I just spent some time sending him some healing energies. Now, it wasn't the good that I wanted to do. It wasn't the good that I had in mind when I started this project, but it was the good I could do. And that's all that Spirit needs from us. Turn it over to God. I find myself doing a lot of that these days. And then look for that which is joyful, and that which is funny and loving and life-affirming. Dr. Holmes says, listen to the divine presence and permit it to direct our paths. Thoughts and ideas come to us. They are Spirit showing up, giving us a better idea for ourselves and our world. So when you have a better idea, honor it. Give gratitude for it. Don't discount it. Don't talk yourself out of it. That's arguing against your good. Don't think about how it's impossible. That's not your job. Enjoy it. Don't run around telling everybody about it. Keep it between you and Spirit. And when you see someone who has that which you're seeking, give gratitude for it. And if you can help someone achieve what you're seeking, do that as well. You can help others, and you can do it with a joyful way. And then look for the easiest way for it to show up in your life. You know, my mom, way back when I was working in D.C., she used to love for me to come back to Macon at Christmas time so she could show me around to all her friends. She went to this local lounge. It was the lounge for the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars. She used to go to the DAV, Disabled American Veterans, but she got banned from there for life. But that's a story for another time. So she would take me to this bar, and it was really actually very nice. They had a grand piano in there, and a woman would play and sing. And this woman, for all the world, sounded like Patsy Cline. Now, I visited that lounge for several years in a row and got to know her quite well. And I used to tell her, you know, what are you doing here at the VFW in Macon, Georgia? You've got the talent. You could be in Atlanta. You could be in Chicago or New Orleans. And one time she told me, she says, you know, Ken, she says, I've found my heaven on earth. She says, here at the VFW. She says, I get to sing music that I love. I get to choose the music I want to sing. She says, I have an adoring crowd that values and appreciates me. And she says, guess what? She said, I get to go to fishing with my grandson during the week. She said, if I tried for the larger career, I wouldn't be able to have all of that. She had created heaven on earth right where she was, the VFW in Macon, Georgia. Dr. Holmes says, we look too far away for our good. Spirit is gifting us thoughts of how we can live in a greater life. And we're only one thought away from all the blessings of life. So hold on to your thoughts, value your thoughts, give them gratitude. Your thoughts are the way you're going to get to the best life possible. You know, the walls of Jericho came tumbling down with the blast of one single horn. And what was that horn? It was a better idea. That the promised land was in sight, that we are a people on the move, and that a wall of brick and mortar cannot keep a God-inspired life for more love, for more joy, for more happiness, breathing the breath of life. And you are the means by which that breath will be breathed. You are the way God is showing up in your life, and you're wonderful, you're amazing, you're inspired by that which has set the universe into motion. So don't despair, don't give up. The promised land is in sight, and you're on the move. It's the truth in your life today, it's the truth in mine, and so it is.
Come away with me in the night. Come away with me and I'll write you a song. Come away with me on the bus. Come away with me where they can't tempt us with their lies. And I wanna walk with you on a cloudy day, fields with the yellow grass grows knee-high. So won't you try to come away with me, and we'll kiss on a mountain top. Come away with me and I'll never stop loving you. And I wanna wake up with the rain falling on a tin roof, while I'm safe there in your arms. So won't you try to come away with me in the night. Come away with me.
So let's close our service with an affirmative prayer. Join with me now in knowing something powerful and good for yourself. I know there is only one God, one mind, one power. That power is divine love. It's perfect intelligence. It shows up in my life through my best ideas for myself. So here today, I lift my eyes up to a greater knowing. Here today, I see and believe. I step out in faith of how Spirit can show me greater health, more love, more joy, more happiness, more laughter. All those things in life that make me feel alive. For this is what Spirit is doing, showing up, calling me on to a better knowing for myself. It's my truth. I celebrate this right knowing. Every cell of my being radiates its value and truth, and I release it into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my dear friends, know this truth with me. Your life is not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, to proclaim your miracle, and to make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God has called us to be. Until we see each other again, many blessings, Reverend Ken.